All right, let's get into it. We got Kaleido Colors Mecha 24 paint set. The color that I'm choosing out of this set is going to be the Dark Azure Blue. And this is what we're going to be testing on some spoons. I've already done some testing on some spoons. I've got them right here. So we sprayed them with the brand new, which is now announced today by Gaahleri, the official release of the TurboX Mini air compressor. Gaahleri was gracious enough to send me it. It's not the set that has the airbrush, but we got the compressor. We tested it out. I greatly appreciate Gaahleri sending it to me, and this small compressor is a great way to get a lot of people into airbrushing. Hands down. Does it work at a low PSI? Yes. Does it maintain that PSI really well with continuous use? Yes. Does it have a lot of key features? Yes. I'll be doing a full detail about TurboX here in a few minutes, but let's talk about the paints. ColorWorks paints. Great paints. Got the 24 Mecha color set, and it has what they call the rapid air technology. Let's talk about the paints. Water-based, which is great. Really great. No solvents. It goes on just like lacquers, just like they advertise. Kid you not. Great stuff. While my testing, it took me a little bit of a learning curve to learn the thinning. I do highly recommend thinning this down. It is quite thick, and with thinning, it'll spread it out. The longevity of your paints. Now, the subtle characteristics and differences that I have found with these paints is this. I didn't have to wear a respirator. I didn't have to turn on my spray booth to catch the extra atomization of the paints. This paint goes on the way it's supposed to, and it does not create a whole lot of overspray, which is great. No fumes, no toxic chemicals within it. Great paint. Hands down, I give it a 10 out of 10. Let's show you guys some of the spoons, shall we? Got these separated. These two are the durability. We'll talk about those here in a few. As you can see, white spoons, black spoons. Sitting on the table, you cannot really tell a difference in between the color. Lays on well, coats on well. Now, let's get into the subtle differences in between these two and these two. Here's the black spoons. Let me bring you guys up here. Let me look at these and I can tell the difference between the two. Okay. So this one was done with the TurboX. TurboX, again, works at a lower PSI and maintains that PSI while you're airbrushing. And you will see it is a little grainy, but that's because you're working at a lower PSI. But in the end, clean that stuff off there. In the end, you still get a great finish. And at a lower PSI, you get more of a gloss effect. This is with my personal air compressor that I have that works at a higher PSI. Better atomization, The paint atomizes great with high airflow. And again, these two spoons were done with just 3 coats. And they look phenomenal. Let's get to the white ones. Here's the white ones. There was nothing special put on these spoons. It was just clean the spoons off with 91% alcohol. This is the TurboX. This is out of my personal high pressure air compressor. You can see the difference. Both came out in a great finish. Let's talk durability, because that's everybody's thing. Where's me some tape at? Always the tape test. Got some masking tape. We'll just use a small piece. So here's the durability spoon. If you look on there, can't really see any scratches. And what you're not going to believe is, I've actually scratched this with my finger, flicked it real hard. We'll put tape right across the top. Alright. And you're going to hear me do this. Kick it to the side. Right? I'm scratching it. You can hear it. Right? Scratched it. Let's take the tape off. I got it all the way around and put under the edges. Ready? Nothing. Stayed right on there. And again, this is a water-based paint. You can see where I took the tape off. See any scratches? I don't. I even flicked it at an angle. No digs, stings, anything. Let's take another step further. In this bottle I have Gamsol mineral spirits. Let me grab a cotton swab. Just a regular old cotton swab. Right? Mineral spirits on the cotton swab. Let's go ahead and rub this thing. You can hear it. I'm rubbing hard. And I'm rotating the swab as I go. No fade, no nothing. Look at the swab. No lick of color. You want to talk about bonding? This paint bonds. Scratching. Anything hard, yeah, it's going to scratch it. This test spoon was scratched with my hobby knife. And it takes, force to scratch this thing. Along with a sharp edge, corners, and stuff like that. It will scratch with something hard. But we're going to prove a point with this. I'm going to take this scratch spoon. I'm going to respray it. So, I need some sanding sponges. Let's see here. Got some 600. What we're going to do is, I'm going to use this tape since nothing came off. Take it the paint residue that's scratched up. That spoon is scratched up. Yeah? We all can agree? Let me see here. We got 2000 grit. Got a nice smooth surface. And we're going to go over to the spray booth and spray this. You get the Azure Blue. Go ahead and shake it up real well. That's another good thing about these bottles. These bottles have a media already inside to go ahead and mix these bad boys up. Alright, so I'm going to move you guys over. And we're going to look straight at the paint booth. I'm going to be using that airbrush right there. I'm going to take that same spoon, so you guys don't think I'm doing any movie magic. What do I do with that Azure Blue? There we go. Put that over there. We already have the cleaning solution and thinning medium inside the booth. So let me jump over there. We will be using the TurboX to do this, and we'll go from there. Now notice, I'm not going to turn on the spray booth at all. Alright, give that a moment to dry. That's with the TurboX. Choose my higher PSI. Alright, let's give those a second to dry a little bit. And we'll go into a little bit of detail of the TurboX. Very easy to use, plug and play. Power's at the top. Plug it in. Depending on what country you're in, you got your 110 and your 220. This has overheat protection, has a warning. It'll give you a notification. Mine's on Fahrenheit, so if it reaches over 86 degrees Fahrenheit, it will automatically shut off and give me a warning to let me know that, hey, it's time for me to cool down. Take a break. That way we can cool down and get back to work. Here you have your PSI. It's got different settings. Hit it once, puts you at low pressure. Let me grab my airbrush. And you'll see what it maintains at. So I'm just going to depress the airbrush. I'm not going to be applying paint. Let me go ahead and clean this tip a little bit. That way we don't get no splatter later. But this is just me pressing for air. Oh, I'm on the wrong compressor. Give me 1 second. Good times, good times. Put that in the other one. I need this airline right here. Alright. So, pressing. That's low. Push it again. It bumps it up to its second stage. Maintains at 9 psi. Now to go to high, just press it one more time. And you see what we're setting at. That's just air. See how quiet it is? It's not very loud. And then, if you want to do it at a certain level, you just turn the dial. Turn it down or turn it back up. But if you want to change the stages, you just push the button again and you can go from low, medium, and high. And again, you can dial it back, forward, so you can change your airflow, just like on a Mac valve. That's pretty much it. Now let's go into the switch. The switch that is at the top, up here. It's a different setting that it has within it. And I'll grab the manual and I'll read it off exactly what that thing does. So this is what they call the mode adjustment. If it is on the O, that is normal mode, suitable for most airbrushes with a 0.3 millimeter nozzle or above. The solid circle is compatible mode, designed for small flow, small air nozzle airbrushes for like the 0.2 millimeter. So it's great that it has this different option for that. And it's easy toggle switch. Let's get into these feet. These feet are suction cup feet. And boy, do they stick. Let me show you. So here's the top of the Mecha Color box. These feet work so well. I'm just lightly pushing. Watch this. That is how sticky these little feet are. So when it comes to vibration, this is by far going to stay where you put it if you have a nice flat surface to put it on. Of course, I have this gaming pad that has ASB on it, so vibration is really not an issue. And as you can see, it is very stable. So for this compressor to have all these options, I say it's great. Not only do you get the compressor, you get a little stand to hold your airbrush if you don't have an airbrush holder. And like I said, this compressor is very versatile and gets the job done. Now, let's get back to the spray booth now that we've given a little bit of time to these things. And I'll be using the TurboX again. Let's get to it. Higher PSI. All right, that's 2 coats. Overall, you know, it does a really great job. The paint does, as far as coverage and stuff like that, making sure it lays down the way it needs to lay down. Just be mindful that you also have to put thin coats at a time. Don't overdo it. And make sure you just dial in your needle at the right spot. And as you see, we're not doing any editing, no nothing. We're going straight into it, giving it some time to let that stuff set, do its job, and then go right back into it. See how this stuff's looking. I think we're going to change that nozzle out. We're going to put a crown nozzle on. Helps alleviate splatter and all that good stuff. Back with the TurboX. I'm just applying air, I'm not painting. Make sure we got a good wet coat on there. Let's go ahead and change it out to the high PSI. And as you notice, there's no overspray, like overflowing out, going in. You don't see any crazy paint being laid in there. All right, so this is the high PSI. We'll let that dry. Always get better atomization. Just, this is the same spoon. That paint works really well with high PSI. And again, these are just test spoons. There's nothing special to them or anything. Back with the TurboX. Now remember, this spoon that I have in my hand was the one that was scratched. That's weird with that paint. But here's the black spoon. Nice finish. Let's take that scratch spoon. You can't even tell it was scratched. Easy repairs. Set those back in there so they can dry. And again, this is the one with high PSI. Great finish. And that's the dark Ezra blue. Kaleido thin and medium. And you have the cleaner. Let me put you guys back on our normal location. Don't mind that, that was just my speaker turning off because I'm not playing music. So as you can see, it goes on well. Durability is great. Bonding to what you're trying to put it on, great. Scratch resistant for the most part. Takes really something sharp to really cause any damage to it. By none. So, do I recommend Kaleido's paints? Yes, I do. High durability. Bonds well. Hits all the cues that it needs to do its job. Now, as far as the Gaahleri TurboX goes, will I get the job done for our first time, you know, folks that want to get out of just hand painting and get into, you know, airbrushing and work at a low PSI and then work their way up? Yes. Will I use this in conjunction with my higher PSI? Yes. Most definitely, hands down. It'll be great for appreciating and other different things that I need to do. So, and working at a lower PSI. So, I can imagine a lot of different other things that I could do with this, with like different effects like splatter and stuff like that. Just turning it down and letting the paint spatter and stuff like that. So, can I do a lot of different things with the TurboX? Yes. Does it give you a great finish? Yes, it does. So, I do highly recommend the TurboX. What else can I say? Does the job. As a compressor, it does a job. It's small. Has a lot of features. Comes with everything you pretty much need to get right off the bat, except for if you get the set, you can have an airbrush. There's a set that has the airbrush with the TurboX. I didn't get that set because I already have some airbrushes here. Works great with other airbrushes other than Gaahleri, which is a big plus, because I know there's a lot of folks out there that, you know, they can't really afford a Gaahleri airbrush. That's why I highly recommend getting you the set that comes with the Gaahleri airbrush. But for those that already have some airbrushes, or, you know, it's been years and you still have an airbrush, you can use this with it. Just make sure you have the right size needles. What else can I say? I haven't edited any of this video. You guys got to see how this stuff works, how durable it is. As far as the paints go, you see how versatile the air compressor is. I wished it did have a little bit higher PSI, because then it would seriously put competition on my larger air compressor. I think if it was able to do at least 20 PSI, we'd be rocking. But is it good for at low PSI? Yes. It gets the job done. Maybe there'll be an update or something for it, and they'll make something a little bit where it makes a little bit more air pressure. But other than that, it does the job. I like it. And is it a good entry compressor for a lot of people to get into airbrushing? Yes. I highly, highly agree with anybody making this purchase to try this out. And I highly doubt you'll be disappointed. It does the job that it needs to do. Just remember, there's a learning curve when it comes to airbrushing, thinning your paints, and what PSI that works for you and the paints that you're trying to use. Just make sure you're using the right paints, because there are some people that use paints in the wrong type of airbrush and it clogs it up, and it's a lot of work to clean up your airbrush. So always have a good set of airbrush cleaning tools, nozzle cleaning tool. That's pretty much it. Some swabs and the cleaner, just like what comes in Kaleido set. So if you get the sets, it comes with the cleaning solution and it comes with the thinning medium. So if you get the sets, you're pretty much set. Can you use this to hand paint these paints? Most definitely. I would not doubt that you can. I'll probably try that later on, do some hand painting, but if it airbrushes like this, I can tell you right now, it'll paint on just as fine. So Gaahleri hit it out of the head with the TurboX. Gaahleri with Kaleido ColorWorks. Great paint. Great compressor. Do I recommend it? 110%. Alright guys. Catch you on the next one.